So hello, I am Sanu Kole. Today I am going to discuss about agriculture science. Those who are interested take agriculture optional in WBCS or UPSC CSE. Agriculture optional is a highly scoring subject, and if we go through the syllabus, there are basically two papers in agriculture optional, that is paper 1 and paper 2. In paper 1, the subjects cover, that is soil science, agronomy, forestry, and agriculture extension and agriculture economics. And in paper 2 there are the subjects covers, that is genetics and plant breeding, that is a vast topic, and horticulture, and the other parts are, that is entomology and pathology. In genetics and plant breeding, in genetics there is basic cell theory and cell division, and other genetical parts are covered in this topic. And in plant breeding, the application parts of the genetics, and the pathology is the disease part of plant and crops, and entomology are the insects or pest part of the entomology portion, and horticultures are the fruits, and the other parts are covered in horticulture. Now in paper 1 I say that there is a paper soil science and soil water conservation, agronomy, agriculture extension, and agricultural economics. If we compare the paper 1 and paper 2, then in my opinion paper 1 is more easier than paper 2, because in paper 2 the genetics portion and plant breeding portion are the specific portion, and there is a specific knowledge required to grasp these papers. And in pathology and entomology there is a symptoms and management, those parts are covered in that topic. So the disease portion and pathology portion reminds that we are a doctor of we are doctor of plants. We are dealing with plants disease and pathology. That's why you can say that আমরা গাছের ডাক্তার. So according in my opinion paper 1 is most easier, and paper 1 there is a no rocket science, there is a general view about paper 1. In paper 1 soil science, those who read the geographical portion of physical geography, and there they might have heard the term some portion of soils and other parts. Now today I am going to discuss about the soil science topic, and further I will discuss other topics, but today I am going to discuss about the first paper 1 under soil science. So in soil science, first of all there is a basic question in our mind, that is, what is soil? Soil ki? Soil is a natural body, and after decomposition after the weathering, the mother part, that is rock part, are converted into a soil. And in soil, if you call that soil SOIL, that is a acronym. If we elaborate the acronym, that means source of infinitive life. S stands for source, O of I infinitive, F life, source of infinitive life. It is true, because in soil there are so many minerals and other microorganisms. And soil in soil, plant take their nutrients from the soil, and its growth depends on the soil and its minerals. And we also dependent on plants, because we eat those vegetables and other plants we consume. Those plants fulfill our needs, and that's why we are indirectly dependent on also soil. And in soil there are many microbes, earthworms, and many bacteria present in the soil, and they also survived directly contribution of soil in their life. And we are indirectly independent, they are directly dependent, and ultimately we are dependent on soil. That's why we can call that soil is source of infinitive life. Now i am I am going to discuss about the basic composition of soil. In basic composition soil, and in soil we can say that the composition of soil, that is the mineral portion of soil, is present 45%, and the organic matter present in soil, it's vary from 0 to 5%. And the soil air and soil water, those are present in 25%, that is soil water 25% and soil air 25%. Those are the basic composition of soil. And there are, if we go in the basic, then we can say that there are some basic particles, and we can call that primary particles. And those primary particles are, that is sand, silt, and clay. Sand, silt, and clay. What is sand, what is silt, what is clay? The difference between sand, silt, and clay depend on the according its size. If the size of a primary particle, that is we call it sand, its size 0.02 mm to 0.002, so that is the size of sand particle. If we talk about silt particle, then its size is 0.002 to 0.002 mm. And if we call about the clay particle, that is less than 0.002 mm. There is also a particle that size is less than 0.001 mm. We call it colloidal. But we will discuss about sand, silt, and clay, because the primary particles are sand, silt, and clay, and those primary particles are responsible for making secondary particles. Though we have talked about the sand, silt, and clay, that is a primary particle. It is understood that what is primary particle, what is the types of primary particle, that is clear. Now I am going to discuss about secondary particle. What is secondary particle? Secondary particle are nothing but the aggregation of primary particles. What is aggregation? When sand, silt, or clay came together, that makes a secondary particle. And this secondary particle we called ped. What is ped? Ped in Bengali, ped means ঢিলা। এই যে আমাদের ঢিল থাকে, that is ped, that is secondary particle. But these secondary particle are made with the composition of, but with the aggregation of the primary particle. The ped secondary particle made through the aggregation of primary particle, that is sand, silt, and clay. If we crush the secondary particle, then ultimately we can see that there is a primary particle, sand particle, silt particle, and clay particle. Now, according to structure, there is a term that is texture, structure. What is structure? Structure is nothing but structure is the composition of sand, silt, and clay. According to structure, we can divide the soil into three types. And texture, I have mentioned that texture means the proportion of sand, silt, and clay. Like in some soil, there will be sand particle is more. In some soil, there will be clay particle is more. In some soil, there will be silt particle or more. And in some soil, the sand, silt, or clay are equally distributed. Now, if we discuss about the soil texture, in soil structure, soil is distributed or soil is classified in three types of soil. So, according to the soil texture, we can classify the soil into three types. One is sandy soil, second is loamy soil, and third is heavy soil. So first of all, we will discuss about the sandy soil, that is light soil. What is light soil? Light soil, in light soil, there the proportion of sand, silt, and clay. It is sand portion is 50%, sand particle is present 50%, silt particle is present 25%, and clay particle is also present 25%. And if in a soil the proportion of sand, silt, or clay in this proportion, in this 50%, 25%, and 25%, then we will call it light soil. In heavy soil, the sand particle is 25% and the silt particle is 25% and the clay particle is 50%. If in a soil the proportion of sand, silt, or clay according to this proportion, then we will call it heavy soil. And there is a third type of soil according to texture, that is loam soil. What is loamy soil? In loam soil, sand, silt, and clay both are equally distributed. That is, sand particle is present 33%, clay particle is present 33%, এবং silt particle is present 33%. So we have understood that according to texture, soil are divided into three types, that is light soil, heavy soil, and loamy soil. But if we talk about agriculture, then loamy soil is more suitable for agriculture activities, because these three primary particles are equally distributed in this type of soil. Now I am going to discuss about some pore. What is pore? In soil there is two type of pore, that is micropore. One is micropore and other is macropore. What is micropore? First of all, what is pore? Pore is nothing but a gap between the soil. In Bengali we can call it ছিদ্র বা ছোট ছোট গর্ত. তো micropore are there are two type of I have mentioned that there are two types of pore. One is micropore and other is macropore. What is micropore? I have mentioned that there are three types of particle. One is sand particle, silt particle, and clay particle. If there is a gap between the sand, silt, and clay particle, that is in between the primary particle, then it will I will say that this gap is micropore. So what is micropore? Micropore is nothing but the gap between the primary particles. And now the second type is macropore. What is macropore? Macropore, I have mentioned that there is a secondary particle and we have termed it ped. So if I have a ped in my hand and in my other hand also have a ped, and if two peds or more peds aggregate, then it makes a big ped, and the gap between two ped, that is the gap between two secondary particles, that is macropore. Macro means boro and micro means choto. So micropores are the small pore between the primary particles, and macropore is the big pore between the two pairs or the secondary particles. So why I have mentioned the micropore and macropore in soil science, there is a vast contribution, but there is a large contribution in case of plant growth and development. Pore, micropore and macropore concepts are more important. Now I will sorry no now I am going to discuss about some types of water. They are linked with this pore. What is we know there is a groundwater, but in soil science those water are classified into three parts. What are the three parts? There are three types of water. One is gravitational water, and the second is hygroscopic water, and third is capillary water. So I will explain what are what is the uh, explanation of this water. First of all, I will discuss the gravitational water. Now I want to mention a small thing, that is when rain is occurred and when rain is fall above the ground, we have seen that there is a cloud of water above the ground, and after 30 minutes or 40 to 45 minutes we have seen that those water are absorbed by the ground. But where go those water? কোথায় যায়? Those water are absorbed by the earth, and through the gap of secondary particles, that is macropore, the groundwater, the above water sucked by the earth, and those water are deposited inside the ground, and we called it gravitational water. Why it's called gravitational water? Because those water are sucked by earth through the gravitation, অভিকর্ষ টান, পৃথিবীর অভিকর্ষ টান সেই জলটাকে শুষে নেয়, and the channel through this water goes into the deep of the water table. Those channel is the secondary through the secondary particles, that is through the macropore. Through the macropore the ground water is absorbed by the earth, and that's why groundwater table is termed as gravitational water. What is the use of this gravitational water? In case of plant, there is no use of gravitational water, because plants do not take gravitational water. Plants cannot take gravitational water, and this gravitational water is used by human, and they used for the domestic purpose and other purpose, drinking purpose and all other purpose. So gravitational water is mainly used by the human. Now I will explain what is capillary water. Capillary water, when the water cloud are above the ground, more than of 90% of water is sucked by the earth, and that was gravitational water. But some, if macropore is filled by those water, micropore also filled by those water, and those micropore are filled with water, but those micropores water are do not go inside the deep of the earth, and there is no such effect of gravitation on micropore water. When we plant a sapling or a tree, the sapling takes the water from this capillary water. Plants, when we plant a sapling, then the sapling sprouts its roots and enter its roots through the micropore. That's why the roots of the plants is so tiny and so easy to enter in the micropore through this plant root hair. Some plants roots are some plants roots are like our hair. So those roots are easily entered in the micropore, and they suck the water from micropore for its survival, for its development, for its other activity, and plant use this water. So we understand that what is capillary water. Now the third type of water is hygroscopic water. What is hygroscopic water? Hygroscopic water are in vapor form. They are attached with the primary particle, and this water plant cannot take this water through these roots. So what are the use of this capillary water? What are the use of this hygroscopic water? Those hygroscopic water are used by the bacteria and other soil microorganism like earthworm. So those microbes are used this water. So we have discussed about three types of water. One is gravitational water, which is used by human consumption. Second is capillary water, which is used by plant, and third is hygroscopic water, which is used by some microbes and bacteria. So in our agricultural science, in our agricultural purpose, we plant a sapling or crops. So crops take water from capillary water from micropore. So I have mentioned that what are the pores and what are the waters. So it is easily understand that there is a link or there is a connection between those pores and the capillary water. So first of all, water is, and the type of water is clear, and the type of soil according to texture, it is also clear. In further discussion, I will also discuss about the according to structure of soil. স্ট্রাকচার উপর ভিত্তি করে সয়েলকে কীভাবে ভাগ করা যায়, in color, according to temperature, and so many others parameter we will discuss in later. And we will also discuss about the soil profile. I will give you brief introduction about soil profile. That is, soil profile, there is a different layer in soil. First of all, the mother rock. Then rock are the main source of soil. Rock, after weathering of so many times, rocks are converted into a soil. And the study of soil in Bengali we can say that is Mittika Bigyan, mati Bigyan. So Today I have discussed about the basic portion of soil science. In further class I will also discuss about the soil profile, soil color, and other some aspect of soils, that is acidic soil, normal soil, and alkali soil. And based on when there will be a clarification about the soil, then we will easily understand which soil is suitable for crop plantation, which crop is suitable in which type of soil. In acidic soil there will be some specific crops and they are suitable for this soil, but in some crops they are, and that is not suitable for agricultural purposes. Then in alkali soil there is a some crop. Then we will discuss about details about the crops. But before that discussion we should understand the basic concept of soil and the basic structure and the other part of the soil. Then we will easily understand which crop is suitable for which soil. Thank you very much.